Morning, it's Thursday and I'm just going to try and squeeze this little job in. It's just a quick job, this grease pipe over here. I'll show you. Grease pipe on this low loader trailer has rubbed against the back tyre and broken, so I've got a fresh bit of grease pipe to go in. I'll take this fitting out, put that into there and join it onto the grease pipe further into the chassis. Shouldn't be a bad job. Yesterday I got the van all washed out and I even did the inside as well, look. But it's nice to have it clean again. I'm a bit of a fussy bugger when it comes to keeping stuff clean. And it is nice to be able to see the floor again. And it took a bit of washing on the outside as well. Obviously, when we had that cold spell for about 10 days, the wash was frozen up, so we couldn't do any washing, and I always like to stay on top of it because it's less of a job. I try and do it once a week, and it took a fair bit of doing getting the van all washed up again. But yeah, I've just got this to do today, and I'm off this afternoon and then in again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll go and get my last job of, probably the last job of the year done. Happy days. Right, I'll get this grease pipe on. Also made a bracket up, put this work light on too, so hopefully I'll be able to see a bit more when it comes dark. And I'm just going to put a toggle switch in here. I've got this wire run up from underneath the seat of the van. I'll just put a toggle switch in here and just turn it on and off. But I didn't have any switches left, so I need to pick a switch up at some point. So that'll be a nice little addition. I'll be glad when I've got that on. So if you look under here, this grease pipe would go to this pin here, and it looks as though it's just been a bit long and it's been rubbing on the tyre. You can see it's the rub marks in it. So I'll replace it to further back into the chassis and join it, and then I'll probably better check all the other grease pipes that we're not going to have the same issue again. Yeah, lovely. Right, that's it done. Can you believe that I can fit between that gap there? I was right in and under on the back of the chassis rails. I'm going to put this on the new pipe in, and there's a bit of slack there to allow it to move if it wants to, but this pin here shouldn't move too much. Yeah, I think that's all right. Friday morning, I was going to go and put some key fobs, or program some key fobs to a 160, but the owner of the machine has been off this week with man flu, and he's got the original keys which I'll need, and he's a long way from where the machine is, and to be fair, the machine's a long way away as well. So spoken to him this morning, and we're going to catch that at the start of the new year because he's heading a bit closer to where I am. So that leaves today with a bit of admin, and I'll do a couple of jobs with the van and just have a bit of a square up while things are quiet. So that leaves me with very little to do at the start of next year. I've already got a full day booked when I come back on the 4th, and then I'll catch that key fob job, and that'll be what we've got to look forward to. So it's all good. Right, we're at lunchtime now. I've been doing some online training in the office area, and I just thought I picked up one of these switches yesterday on my way home, and I put a side light into the van. I'll show you just now. So I think when I was putting the CB in, I ran an extra wire up and out in this area here to put this work light in. And what did I do? I didn't put a fuse in to the fuse holder, so I ran a wire up, but it wasn't live. And yeah, I picked up a switch. It turns the light on and off now. nice and easy. So yeah, hopefully that'll help on the darker evenings when I'm working. It'll sort of illuminate the area where I'm climbing in and out the van, and hopefully a bit of the machine as well that I might be working on. I've always wanted to do that. I was always on my to-do list on my previous van and I never got around to it. So I'm pleased I finally got around to doing it on this. While I'm on my lunch, I'll pull the CB out again because I don't think I've got the aerial right. It hasn't got much of a range. If anything, you have to be basically, it was when I was taking that track motor up to do that track motor job, I had the CB on and there was a lot of timber wagons, and normally with my old van you can hear the timber wagons coming before you see them, and that kind of gives you an indication as the best spot to kind of pull in, because as the signal gets stronger they're getting closer and you just kind of like tuck into a passing place and they'll come round the corner and you meet them, so you're ready for them. But yeah, when I was taking that track motor up the road, I came around a blind bend and there was a timber wagon coming the opposite direction. There was two of them in fact, and both of us just about struggled to stop. So it was only then when I heard them, and I was literally about 150 yards away from them. So I'm going to pull the aerial out and try and rejig it a bit. I'll watch a YouTube video again on how to solder in the end, because there's a bit of a science to it, and I think I've got too much wire. Instead of cutting the excess wire off, I've just kind of looped it up, and I think that's probably the problem. So I need to pull it out, pull the wire through a bit more and cut a bit off, and redo the end to it. I've had a bit mess about with it. I pulled the cable off. I thought I had a roll of cable wound up, but I didn't. I must have trimmed it in the end. It's picking something up now, and to be fair, I'm inside a tin shed, so the signal won't be that good. But it's picking something up, which is more than it was doing last time. We'll see what happens. So the CV's sorted. I've just spent 20 minutes or so wiring in this relay into here. This is going to be in anticipation for a couple of, gonna get some spotlights to go in the grill here. Now I did have some off the shelf that I was going to use, which are the Doosan ones that I've got on the light bar at the back, but when I was up at the auto electricians getting that toggle switch, I spotted some Hella ones which looked really nice. They look a bit like laser lights, but they're not just as expensive. I can't justify 600, those laser lights that you see in people's grills, they're about 600 or 700 quid, and I just can't bring myself to spend that kind of money on a couple of lights. So the ones that I've got look similar, and they'll go in there really nice and neatly, but they didn't have any on the shelf, so I've got them ordered. Thought if I run the wiring in, spend 15-20 minutes doing that, then I've got all I've got to do is attach them and plug them in, which I can do on another lunch break. So yeah, that's all nice and neat. I'll cable tie all this back up nice and tidy again. That red wire down there is off the back of the high beam input to the headlamp. So when you turn your full beam on, I'll get a power up here which switches the relay across, which then pulls a permanent live across and into that plug there. So if I go around and flash the high beam, it should light up that test lamp. If you look at that test lamp, I'm flashing the lights, the test lamp lights up. So yeah, I felt with the last fan that I had, high beam was terrible in the last fan. The high beam on this is a lot better, but it would just be nice to have a sharper, whiter light, especially when I'm running the back roads that I do, the forestry roads and things like that. It'll just add a bit more definition to where all the potholes, and hopefully I'll be able to see the ridges of the road a bit better as well. I think it'll look cool. So, right, I'm going to pack up all my tools. I'll just put a couple of zip ties on that wiring that I've altered there, and then back to the laptop and do a bit of online training. So that's it for the day. I'm going to head home now. I've got a bit of Christmas wrapping to do, and hang up the boots for a couple of days. It'd be nice to have a bit of a break. Hope you all enjoy your Christmas breaks as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the year. I am working one day between Christmas and the New Year, and I'm gonna have a look at the brakes on the van, although since I washed the van it hasn't been squeaking, so whether there's been a bit of road salt in there, a bit of grit or something, and I've washed it out, I'm not sure, but I'll pull the wheels off and have a look anyway, just in case. I have got brake pads and everything sat ready to go if I need to. What I would suggest is put in a couple of questions down in the comments box, and I'll answer those questions next week when I'm back in work. I'll do it on my lunch break or whatever, and yeah, we'll go from there. But no, thanks everybody that's picked up on the channel, started watching, everyone that's subscribed this year. The progress is fantastic, and I quite enjoy at the moment putting these videos out, and they seem to get a good response. So thanks again everyone, hope you have a good Christmas, and we'll see you between Christmas and the New Year. Cheers.